Hi, and welcome to this revision session on social learning theory and criminal behavior. As always, you need pen and paper to have with you when you are listening to this podcast, because that is going to help your learning. You can stop the podcast or play it again as many times as you like to make sure you really understand and remember what it's about. In short, social learning theory, or SLT, says the following: criminal behavior is learned through observation and imitation of others. But there's more to it than that, because there are some really important keywords that you need to learn. And they are observation, identification, direct reinforcement, imitation, role model, internalization, vicarious reinforcement, and identification. Observation, that basically means people paying attention and observing and remembering the behaviors. Imitation is basically people recalling behaviors and then you reproduce them again with your own actions. So you are imitating what you have seen. Identification is really the process where you align yourself with another person. In other words, you identify with them. The concept of the role model is basically where a person is held in really, really high esteem by another. So if you're looking up to someone, you might see them as a role model for how you should behave. Direct reinforcement is like when a behavior is strengthened due to positive outcomes for the individual person. Vicarious reinforcement. Well, this is the case where you are observing somebody else getting a reward by acting out a particular behavior. And what you then do is you may decide to carry out the same behavior because you want to have the same kind of reward. What's interesting about this is that once you've seen somebody being rewarded for a particular behavior, you can do the same behavior even though that person is not there anymore. Internalization. When you internalize a behavior, it means that that particular behavior becomes an integral part of your personality. And that often happens if it has reinforced many, many times. Okay, so that's for the keywords. Let's now look at what social learning theory actually says about criminal behavior. So how do you link that to criminal behavior? Well, the first thing is the social learning theory basically says that criminal behavior is learned from others. How do we do that? Well, you observe a role model, and if you identify with this person, we are likely to imitate the person's behavior. This is much more likely to happen if we are directly reinforced through praise or some kind of reward, or if we see someone else being rewarded for the same behavior, which you know as vicarious reinforcement. So let's look at an example of that. We may observe a family member stealing and see that they are getting lots of new clothes. So we imitate the same behavior to get this reward. Now, if this behavior is continuously reinforced, we will eventually internalize the behavior, and it will become an integral part of our personality. What I want you to do is replay this part of the podcast, and I want you to find out where did I put the key words. So what you're looking for are the words observe, role model, identify with this person, imitate the behavior, directly reinforced through praise or reward, vicarious reinforcement, and internalize. Once you listen to this one more time, you can hear where I put those words in, and they are really important for you to remember.